Tony, firstly, training camp has been long, grueling, hard. First time in a couple of years you've got to make the weight. Are you feeling as strong as you ever have in your life and as confident ahead of this almighty challenge?
I'm always confident, Adam. It's been a long camp, yes. I've been very diligent in the way I prepare. Making weight is not an issue. Oleksandr faces the exact same problems as I do when it comes to making weight. Me and him are very similar in size. We are basically heavyweights who have to make weight. This is the modern day system, and by moving the weight category to 200 pounds when it used to be, I think it was 186, that's what that allowed. It allowed the smaller heavyweights to come down, so it's not an issue. I've shown what I can do at heavyweight, and believe you me, I will show even more what I can do at cruiserweight, because I am sharper, possibly even stronger at cruiserweight. But I go in here, and for the first time genuinely in my life, I feel like I meet a man who has exceptional skills, an exceptional amount of talent. He has everything I have besides that one thing, and that's the fact that I can switch someone's lights out within 1 second. And I don't care what he says, what his team says, what anybody says. I've had that ability since I was 12 years old. I learned it at school, and I'm still carrying it right now as a grown man. I can turn people's lights out with the blink of an eye. It's never happened to him before, but it could happen to him on Saturday night. Either way, I'm going to find a way.
Tony, people forget you had a terrific amateur career. You've shared the ring, both as a professional inside and under the lights, and in sparring with some great fighters over the years. Is Oleksandr Usyk the best, in your opinion, that you will ever share a ring with?
Yes.
Why?
He is the ultimate test. There is nothing this man cannot do, Adam, in a boxing ring.
Like Tony
He's
Bellew,
the most complete fighter I've ever faced.
He'll talk up his opponents, man.
Everything he does is class. Listen, before this fight was done, I've always been a fan of Oleksandr. I've had friends interview him. He's amazing at what he does. If I wasn't fighting him, I can promise you right now, I'd probably be sitting in this audience as a fan of his. So, like I say, not for many fighters are as honest as me, but it is what it is. I think he's a fantastic champion.
I hate when people say that about themselves, you know. I'm so honest.
He hadn't yet captured the likes of the European gold medal, the World Amateur gold medal, or the Olympic gold medal at this stage. But even then, everybody knew on that camp who he was. Everybody then knew he was an exceptional talent. Him alongside Vasyl Lomachenko. Glavatsky was there as well, the heavyweight who I was sparring. They're just the quality fighters. He's a brilliant. I have nothing bad. I have no disregard towards this man. I just have to beat him up on Saturday or find a way to do the impossible. I want to tell you how. I really do. And I want to just blare my mouth out and say, but then for once a little man next to me could probably beat me up now at this stage, so I'm going to just keep my mouth shut and say the only chance I have is a puncher's chance. I cannot outbox this man. He is a formidable opponent. He has everything that any boxer could possibly want, and even worse than that, he's an audible southpaw. So he's
Tony Bellew has pretty good boxing skills, you know,
and give someone so much credit, but there is nothing I could say or I'll be honest, I wish his English was a bit better. I know he's bullshitting me a little bit. He does speak better English than he's letting on, but he
maybe
doesn't
thinks
speak
of himself as a good boxer.
Banter with him back and
he has
forth.
the basics down. He's a good pro.
I'm not going to lie. I do like a little bit of back and forth, but ultimately, I admire him. Fantastic champion.
Maybe
I'm happy this fight's happened. This is the most significant fight in cruiserweight history.
Which is weird
to say. The richest fight the cruiserweight division's ever seen. And you know who brought that to the table? I did. He brings the hardware, I bring the money. Get that? I've generated something that no one could ever see for me before it. Nobody cared about me when I was sitting on the floor in Canada as a failed light heavyweight, and I told the world that the reasons why it happened the way it happened. No one cared about me after the crazy, cleverly rematch, and everyone said it was terrible. Tony Bellew's crap, he's this, he's that. No one listened, no one believed. A couple of people sitting here with me, the family at home, me team around me, my father, Gary Disley, my wife, my kids, they all believed. Every one of them believed.
You're talking up.
I am now,
Usyk
and that's what belief can get.
Smart, actually, you know what I mean? The same thing when he fought David Hay, even in the rematch.
But right now I'm about to take the greatest step of possibly any
the
British
most
fighter's
explosive
ever took.
heavyweight and all that
And
stuff.
I'm going to
you know
do
what
it
I
on
mean?
Saturday night.
You've won your
If he
last
wins,
10 undefeated since that night in
get more
Canada.
credit.
How worried are you that this last fight that you've gone on record and saying, you've told Rachel, you've told Dave,
Predator,
you've told Ed, it will
Usyk
be
isn't
the last
easy
one
to look
on
good
Saturday
against.
night. How
That's
worried are
maybe
you
even worse than
about a final failure after so much recent success?
walking
Do you know
in
what,
there,
Adam?
getting sparked.
We
Who
all
knows, man?
fail in life.
Doctors will tell you something
Now, I've
different,
failed
probably.
on a greater scale than anybody probably in this room has ever failed before. But you know what? I've also reached greater heights than most people in this room have ever reached before. And goals, you have to take great risks, and sometimes they go wrong. Make no mistake, I can lose on Saturday night. If he's as good as everyone thinks he is, and as good as everyone says he is, then I could lose Saturday night, no problem. I've got no problem with that. But what would have haunted me much more if I would have stayed retired. And then when he calls my name with all them belts around his waist, I just walk away. That would have haunted me. That would have haunted me. And it would have, I can't even think about doing it. So I made the phone calls.
And he needs motivation and making everything.
Yes, I
like,
can lose this
personal
fight.
and-
Not many people say, well, yes, I
that,
can.
you know.
Of course I can. He's very good at what he does. Do I think I'm going to lose the fight? Absolutely fucking not, no.
Oh, he said fuck.
I'm going to beat him. I'm going to stop him. I'm going to break his heart. And you look in my eyes when you say that, and I tell you now, mate, no, every single person will believe when I'm saying it. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get the monster.
He's
It's
not
time
the
to let a
monster.
monster catch a
Stop!
monster. I'm telling you now, mate, I'm going to find a
Fucking
way.
Bellew, man.
As good as he is, as great as he is, he's meeting someone
Already
something
great.
inside
You
him
know?
that I can't even put it into words what goes through my head. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I just know I'm going to punch him in the face really, really, really hard on Saturday night.
Oleksandr,
Snicker,
welcome
snicker,
again
snicker.
to Britain. Fantastic to have you over here.
Приветствую всех собравшихся,
Hello
команды.
everyone, teams.
Я очень вдохновлен, мне очень нравится атмосфера, которая происходит в Англии, в Манчестере.
I'm really inspired. I enjoy the atmosphere here in England and Manchester.
Я реально когда-то себе мог мечтать о таком, побывать в Англии, просто побывать, даже не том, чтобы боксировать. А в субботу я здесь буду боксировать.
Many years ago, I was dreaming about England, about visiting England. I couldn't even imagine that someday I will be fighting here in Manchester.
Я такой довольный, как маленький ребенок, который получил киндер-сюрприз.
I'm as glad as a small kid who received the Kinder Surprise.
Thank you.
Well, we're really pleased to have you here as well, Oleksandr. How dangerous is Tony Bellew as your big challenge?
Да очень опасный парень, ростом как я, весом как я.
С киндер-бараши,
Смотрите, на
Спонсор?
глаза на его. Конечно, опасный.
He is really dangerous. Look at him. He's the same height as I, the same weight. And look at his eyes. They're just angry.
Tony
Say all
says
that.
that you're by far the best fighter that he will have ever shared a ring with. Do you think Tony Bellew is the best you've shared a ring with?
Совершенно верно, на данный момент, да.
Definitely, yes. Tony is my best opponent ever.
So what do we see on Saturday? He's predicting a war. It's his last fight. I think everything will be put into it. What about from your side?
Is Tony his best opponent ever? Is he better than Glovaki? Is he better than Gassiev?
Я буду боксировать, я буду делать то, что я люблю, а люблю я боксировать.
From my side, I will be doing boxing because I will be doing what I love, and I love boxing.
Самое главное, что и со стороны Тони, и со стороны моей будет желание проявить себя.
The main thing from my side and from Tony's side will be to perform our best, and that's why I think this event, Killer One.
Thank
Hello, Manchester. Very, very proud to be here, and of course, more proud to represent one of the best fighters in the world today, Oleksandr Usyk. As far as how big his fight is, we don't have to talk. We can see that here, right on the table. All these belts talks for themselves. So Oleksandr is going to be facing very tough opponent, Tony Bellew. I liked Tony Bellew as a fighter for a long time. I know I was watching him all the time. After his speech today, I like him well as a person. He speaks very highly and very professional. So I believe Saturday night we will see very, very good fight. It's the biggest fight I ever been involved, and I've been in a big fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Igis. Alex,
Hasn't
just
this guy
a
kind of
few
lost
words. I just want
credibility after
to
that whole
thank
Ward
you
Kovalev
and
stuff? Man?
K2 Promotions and Igis as well. I can't believe that an undisputed fight has happened so easily, with no drama, with no tears,
Not
with
yet.
no punches between the camps and the promoters, and it's been a joy to work with
Don't
you
say
and your
that
team.
this
Well,
time.
it is, yeah, we've got another 5 minutes. We all wanted
Laughing
this
into
fight
the
to happen.
mic.
We all love this sport.
that the
And on
Dolmetscher?
Saturday we get a very special moment for our sport and also a great, great fight.
Thank you, Eddie. Definitely, it was really a pleasure to meet you first and then to make it happen. It took us just 10 minutes to agree on all the issues. And again, in Manchester, speaking to media, and recently I have learned something special about the British fans. Never ever in my life I met the audience that is so deeply involved in sports of boxing, and just a regular fan knows more about their idol than probably standard journalist in the world, and that's really amazing. The crowd here is really unbelievable, is something special. Once Usyk comes to the street, people meet him, people want to take a picture, want to take his autograph, whatever. So that makes it amazing. And Usyk had a wonderful camp. He's here, ready to go. I saw Tony last night at the open workout, and you see him now. He's probably he used to have a good camp as well. So that means that Saturday night, just in a couple of days, endless
never know
days,
with
but
Tony,
just
right?
in a couple
Because
of
he's a
days, we're
fat
going to
boy.
see a
What can you
tremendous fight. Probably the fight
workout.
that might become the fight of
Alright.
the decade. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Dave, moment for you and Tony. Obviously, you know, we talked and we heard from Tony about the lows, and it's been an incredible run since then of 10 fights unbeaten and some great nights. Everton, of course, the two David Hay wins, and now on the cusp of doing something that very few do and making history, defining a legacy and becoming undisputed champion.
Yeah, I think you touched on it when you said about Tony Bellew. The story is a successful story already. You know, you look back all the way through his career, he was never supposed to be here. He was never supposed to be here, sat at this table with all these belts lined up, facing pound for pound one of the greatest fighters on this planet. He's made that happen, you know, through all the setbacks. Like he said, he believed, he put in the work, and I think it's a great advert to any kid that's out there, that's starting out, that's actively pro now, had a few setbacks, that just because somebody else is in front of you and somebody else is more talented than you naturally, and maybe things are working smooth from them there at the top there, you're grinding away, you're getting the setbacks. You keep working hard, you keep believing what you're doing, you can get there. He's at the top. This is literally the top table. You know, all these belts there, Saturday night, that's what he's going for. Like I said, he could have walked away, but then there are regrets. Saturday night, there'll be no regrets. He's done everything that he can possibly to get himself in the best shape. He's done the weight fantastically. You know, I spoke with you before, and that was my initial worry when this fight got made, and we said, you know, it was at cruiserweight. It wasn't going to be at heavyweight. It was at cruiserweight. My initial worry was, I don't know if he's going to make the weight easy. He's made it. I can't believe how he's been so professional. He's done everything right, and the weight is fantastic. The weight is not an issue. And on Saturday night, you're going to get the best version of Tony Bellew, and it's going to be the last version of Tony Bellew.
Obviously, there's been a huge amount of respect
That's only a selling
for
point.
Oleksandr
That's
Usyk.
promotional
Keep
garbage.
bringing it up.
Last
But
fight
make
and
no
everything.
doubts, the two of you and the team truly believe that victory will come Saturday night. You know how hard it is, but this isn't about a tribute act to Oleksandr Usyk.
No, listen, the one thing that works works for me, it works for Tony, is that we understand what's in front of us. We always have done. Every fight, we understand the dangers of what's in front. You understand what that man in front of you can do. I think if you go into a fight like this, any fight, but if you go into a fight, you know, the David Haye fights, Makabu's, him, with Usyk, if you go into those fights blind, thinking it's not as good as what they say, it's all hype, you're walking into a minefield and you're going to get the biggest shock of your life, because he is legit. You know, he's a great fighter. And when you understand what's in front of you, you can prepare for it. You can prepare, but we have to prepare for every eventuality.
You know, the
Losing
guy
rounds,
that
you have to prepare
Tony
for
Bellew won his title of.
being outboxed for a dogfight.
Usyk beat
He's
the guy
prepared
that
for
beat him.
everything. And this
He
is
beat him
why
pretty easy,
when
you know?
you look at extensively and you're studying fights, every trainer out there, they all know the same thing. They've all been in positions
Doesn't
where
really mean
their man's the
anything, but
underdog and their
anyway.
man's facing a much better fighter on paper than your man. No fighter's unbeatable. No fighter's unbeatable. There's fighters that are unbeaten. There's no fighter that's unbeatable. And if a man's lost rounds in his career, if a man's been hit in his career, he can be beat.
I don't
And
like
trust
that,
me,
that mindset
Bellew, it's hard
necessarily,
enough to knock
although
out
maybe
anybody.
realistic, you know.
It's hard
but
enough to knock
like
out
giving
anybody.
so much praise to the
His
opponent.
brain, his
man,
boxing
it's
brain's
weird to
underrated.
me.
He can box
You
with
know?
them, he can fight with them. But there's something inside him that you could never bet against
But I
him. And how many
guess,
people have been out there and said that we've got no
Acknowledging
chance
that
in
the
this
guy
fight,
is maybe more
but they're not
talented.
going to bet against him because they've lost
Isn't
enough money in the
necessarily,
past.
like, giving
And he's
in,
one of those
you know,
guys that
giving the towel
there's
before
something
the fight.
inside him. That's why he's here today, and that's why he's got himself to where he is today. Regardless of what any coach has
it's
worked with him in the
somewhat,
past, there's something inside of him that takes him
Questionable.
to this level, and you can't train that. And that's what ultimately that's what's going to make sure that on Saturday night, all these 5 belts are going to go back home.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Alex, Aegis, and
I don't like the
Oleksandr.
trainer
And finally,
thing,
Tony,
you know, but
one
anyway.
last fight for you. Not really about money, not really about crowds, pay-per-view. This is about, I believe, testing yourself. What is it that made you
And it's
accept
so
this fight? What
dependent
does
on-
this fight on
on
Saturday
value.
night mean to you?
For all the
I told
promotion.
everyone, and I was pretty adamant, this isn't about money. If I wanted money, I could have created a bit of drama with someone like, let's just say, Dylan White, a heavyweight. I could have done a gloves are off, had a roll round on the floor and done 1 million pay-per-view buys overnight. That's just the truth, and that's the fact of the kind of numbers I can generate. And I would have earned double the amount I'm going to earn on Saturday night. And I'm not trying to say, I'm not fighting for free, not by any way of the means, but if it was all about the money, I would fight a much lesser fighter than Oleksandr and earn much more money. So I'm happy, I can put that to bed straight away. The reason I took this fight, it's the biggest challenge in my life. I always knew I could become a world champion deep down. I knew with the right scenario, the right fight, the right location, I will lift the world title. I did think also when I left the cruiserweight division, I was the best cruiserweight in the world. When I knocked out Lunga Makabu at Goodison Park, he was the WBC #1 for over a year. No one wanted to face him. Gregory Jaws pulls out. I come in. Oleksandr was still fighting 8 and 10 round fights at this time. And I done the unimaginable, and I knocked out another monster against all the odds.
It's always the
when this
unimaginable
one
with
presented
Tony, man.
itself, I did never think
You can't
this would
just
be
have a
possible.
fight,
I
you know
didn't
what I
think
mean?
boxing
You must
politics
not,
would
man. He was a
allow it.
world beater.
I looked at the last time that a boxing tournament had happened, and that was Andre Ward with Mikhail Kessler. I think it was the Super 8, something like that. And what happened in that tournament, politics played a huge role. Injuries played a huge role. And the belts become fragmented, you know, distributed in different ways, and there was never really one face, one name, one champion. And I thought similar would happen at the WBSS, but it didn't.
What
It all
makes
went to
Tony
plan.
Bellew the best
And the
opponent
man here became that one name, that one
Usyk
face,
has ever
that
faced,
one
you know?
champion that every division needs in boxing, in my opinion. And now it's all at stake. And when he had all them 4 belts around his waist, the first name out of his mouth was me.
Then again, can
I couldn't believe.
or
I
can
genuinely
Tony
still
Bellew
am
beat
shocked.
the likes
I
of a
knew
Glowacki?
he knew who I was, but I didn't think I would be the first name out of his mouth. So
Gassiev,
I was flattered,
all that,
but
you
at
know?
the same time, believe you me, mate,
I think so.
I'd have fought that night in the middle of that bar on my honeymoon if I
beaten
could
Hook,
have.
you know?
That's where I found out he called my name first. So I'm here now, and and I'm competing in a fight that I
Forgetting
never
the
ever
name
dreamed
of
would
that,
ever be possible, and that's what's got me up for it. I'm
The African that
literally
beat,
living the dream. I'm here fighting for the WBC, the WBA,
Oh, shit, man.
the IBF, the
I was
WBO,
actually wrong. I think Macabre beat
and this
that
little
guy.
bad boy as well. It's unbelievable from where I've come from.
He beat that
This was
African.
this was
that
just
Usyk
a
beat.
never a dream, an impossible dream. And I
Was
thought
getting-
this
that's
was
a great
way
fight,
beyond
by the
me.
way.
I never
Macabre
thought
against
this would
another
ever happen.
African.
In the paper on Saturday night, we're going to do an exchange. I'm going to give him all the paper he wants, but I'm going to steal his hardware. I'm telling you now. I got labelled the bank robber last time. Don't call me the bank robber no more. Call me the belt robber, because that's all I'm robbing. Saturday night, I'm robbing all four of them. As a city, as a country I've ever even seen or dreamed of. No fighter from this country is ever going to do what I'm going to do on Saturday night. I'm going to do it. Believe you me. And you know what? Just so they give a parting gift, even after this is over, this fighter, he's going to go on and win a version of the heavyweight title. Mark my words. He is that good. So I don't want to hear no shit after this fight of, oh, he wasn't that good after all. He is that good. He's exceptional. But it's just styles make fights. And I'm going to prove that on Saturday night. I wish you the very best. I hope
give
you're
Bellew
in
a
the
good
best
shot,
shape
man.
ever. Because Saturday night,
He can box
we are
good
gonna
enough,
go
you
to
know,
war, believe you me.
to
Blood,
set up his
everything,
power.
I will
you know?
give it all, but I only wish you good and success. You're an amazing fighter,
Usyk
and
is
an
not even
amazing
looking at
champion.
him.
But Saturday night, my friend, you're gonna learn how to lose.
It's because he knows, man. He's just talking. It's Bellew. All the backhanded
Thank you.
stuff, you know.
Again, an honour to be up here, an honour to be promoting this fight. We thank you for your support, not just today,
All right.
but in recent times in British boxing that's enabled us to
stuff,
create fights
I
like
guess.
this, moments like this. A great night.
got
We wish both
your
camps the
comments,
best of luck.
your
May the
opinions.
best man win, and the winner will
Is
be
Bellew
king
the-
of the
the-
division on Saturday night. We're going to have a head-to-head, and both
best
guys and
opponent
camps
Usyk has
available
ever faced.
for interviews. Thank you very much.
Blowing sugar up each other's, you know what. Peace out.